welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm once again joined by Sienna to chat about our wonderful women's team. How are you doing today?
I'm really good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. And we have got a long list of things that we need to discuss, so let's just get to it. Um, we're going to start with an unfortunate loss against Arsenal way back in March. I think it was March. Yeah, it was March. Um, where it was a 3-1 defeat. Alessia Russo scored twice, and then it was an unfortunate Marianne Mialdi own goal for the third. But our Tony Payne scored an equaliser when it was still 1-1 for Everton. Sienna, what did you think of this game?
I feel like this is one of them games where the scoreline doesn't tell the full story because I feel like, yes, Arsenal did have the edge in quality, but I think we gave them a proper test, especially in the first half. Um, I think we started with good discipline and Arsenal came out strong, and we definitely had to weather some early pressure. But players like Martina Fernandez and Van Havermaet were brilliant at keeping things quite calm at the back, I think. Therefore, the Russo opener was frustrating, but I feel like it was always going to happen. And also, when Russo put in that position, she's not going to miss from close range. But to be honest, like even though they scored, I think what impressed me most from that was how our heads didn't drop. Like the resilience of the team is so impressive at the moment. Um, so that was great from the girls. Obviously, Payne's goal, such a huge moment for her as it was her first. And I feel like that was so deserved for her as well because she's one of them players where I look at any game and I think she's putting in one of the like one of the most efforts. That's not correct English. You know what I mean though. Like
Yeah.
she puts in 100% every game, and she's always driving at defenders. So I was so happy for her to see her get that goal and get a reward for all of the effort that she puts in for the team. Obviously, we mentioned the own goal, and that was gutting, but I feel like there was nothing Mield could do. Ford had just come on and she was like charging full speed. So Mield had to make a decision, and it was just one of those unlucky moments where it ends in the net. Russo's second, it was a really well taken goal. It was a great ball from Mead. And again, she wasn't going to miss it. But like I said, I genuinely don't think that third goal reflects how we played overall. Brosnan, she made a huge save from Kelly early on, and then I think Blackstenius later on. So she really kept the scoreline down as she always does. And yeah, I just think it was a tough one to take result wise, but we showed personality. So that's the positive you're looking at it. Also, another positive, Claire Wheeler made her return from injury, which was really nice to see because I feel like she's a player who adds a lot of like calmness and a lot of bite to our midfield. So I think that was massive to have her back, really.
Yeah, 100% agree. I feel like we I mean, this is a game I always dread because Arsenal have been so good this season, but to be fair, we were just as good, I think. And I completely agree with everything you said there, that I think that we showed our personality. We never stopped once. We created multiple chances. It's just a shame about the scoreline. But we have some happy news for our next game, which was a 3-0 win at home against Crystal Palace. Justine Van Havermaet, Sarah Holmgaard, and Kelly Gargo all got on the score sheet. I think this was another twin telepathy between Sarah and Karen Holmgaard, which I just love watching those two play together. What were your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I think it was definitely one of the most complete performances that we've had in a while, I think, from back to front. Um, I think it's that kind of display that gave us confidence heading into what was like the Manchester games, a tough run of fixtures, really. Um, and Van Havermaet's header, it came at the perfect time to really just give us that motivation and push in the dressing room and like just take it away from Crystal Palace. Like no one wants to be going into the break just conceding. Like I can't imagine how you recover from that as a team and how you recuperate. So I think that was great. Obviously, the delivery was from Sarah Holmgaard, who I just can't stop talking about at the moment. I can't stop writing about her. Like in the match reports, I'm always keep writing the word pinpoint or like trademark because it's just those two words go together with her. She is amazing at her deliveries. So, oh no, to be honest, like I would love to see some data or some statistics like that show how many of her deliveries end in a goal or comparing them to another similar WSL player. Because I just feel like every single time she puts in a delivery, it's in the back of the net or it's like in the perfect position. I just don't get how she does it. But that's something else we can explore a different time, maybe. Um, Obviously, I mentioned that we scored right before the break, but then we scored literally 23 seconds coming back. So that was insane. We didn't let them get back into it at all. We killed the game from that moment. So that was really good. And obviously, Holmgaard turned into the goal scorer from provider to goal scorer. So I think that's really nice to see for her because, as I say, with Tony Payne and her first goal, she puts in so much work for the side, and with all the assists that she produces, I think it was about time that she had her name on the big stage, as you say. And then Gargo's finish was just a perfect way to round it off. She was just so composed and she's in incredible form at the moment, obviously. I just think she gives us that edge up front that we were crying out like for earlier on in the season. Speaking about Tony Payne again, I think she had another great outing, just the way that she drives the defenders. And I think she's such a spark for us. And obviously we'll mention next season early on, but I think if we continue developing her and working with her, that she could be a real goal scoring threat up front alongside Gargo if these rumours aren't true, please. And then obviously you can't mention this game without speaking about the Rike Madsen moment because oh my god, coming on like after her return from maternity leave, getting a standing ovation, and then getting proposed to at full time. Oh my god, it was honestly just such a beautiful moment. I feel like completely captured what this club is about. And on a not completely separate note, but on a separate note, I just find it incredible how athletes can like go through all these changes with their bodies, changes with their hormones, literally like have a different life to before they were pregnant, and then come back and perform at such a high level. It's just insane. And I think it's so commendable. So to see such a special day become even more memorable, I was so happy for her. And I just wish her family the best because they're just adorable.
Yeah, huge congratulations to Ricky and her partner on that incredible moment. And on a also separate note, a massive congratulations to our boss, Brian Sorensen, and his partner on the birth of their beautiful baby boy. We wish them all the best and happiness as well. But yeah, I completely agree with all of that, and in particular the maternity care at the moment, how good that is, because obviously our Tony Duggan was the first one to make that happen, and then we've had various players throughout the WSL have babies and be managed really well because they've started this new movement that you can be a mum, but you can also be a professional athlete, and it's just it's just incredible to see now these changes happen and that it's becoming normal and a normal part of being a just being a person. Like it's becoming the norm now, which we want to see happen.
Yeah, and definitely it's just so empowering, I think, also for young girls to see like seeing your idols and just knowing that you can literally do anything. Nothing's going to stop you from doing what you want to do. Nothing's going to stop you from performing at that high level, even if you've had a baby.
Yeah, and we love to see it.
We
So
love to see.
we love to see. So going on to our next game, it was a unfortunate 2-0 loss against Man United. It was Dominic Janssen and Grace Clinton, ex-Everton player, might we just add, which kind of hurt a little bit. It always hurts a little bit more when it's one of your ex-players who scores against you. It's like, this was, and we say unfortunate because I feel we should have had something with the, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I feel like we should have got something out of this. I feel Courtney Brosnan made an incredible double save, and I just want to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I thought, like you say, it was incredibly harsh. I think we started quite well, and I'm arguably the better team for large spells of the first half, but it's my opinion. But to come away with nothing was very tough to take, I'd say. I think the disallowed goal inside 2 minutes, it looked very harsh. I think personally, not to be biased or anything, it should have stood. And if it did stand, then we could have been talking about a very different game. It's just one of them where it's like that's not always going to be given as a handball, so it felt a little bit unfair. Um, Up to the 20-minute mark, I think around then we were right in it, to be honest. Payne was causing problems and Gargo tested the keeper, but we just lacked that final bit of sharpness in the box. But then obviously the moment came that flipped it. A very, very rare and uncharacteristic error from Brosnan. She like misjudged what should have just been a routine, catching it slipped straight through her hands, and obviously fell to Janssen, who's not gonna miss that opportunity. So I feel like there's no getting around it. It was a mistake, but given how solid Brosnan's been for us this season, you've just got to chalk it off as a one-off. And also, you spoke about the double save. She showed real character late on to come out with a world-class save, dare I say it, to keep the scoreline down. So honestly, she might have made us concede one, but God knows how many more that she saved. That God knows how many more she saved that meant that we haven't conceded. So you've got to forgive her for moments like that, I feel like. Then second half, I just don't think we really had the chance to build. We obviously conceded quite soon after the restart, and that just knocked the wind right out of us. Like I said, with the Crystal Palace, like they conceded, and I was like, ha, but no, that happened to us. So there you go. But yeah, I feel like the game just fizzled out from there, really. Like as is Everton's style, we didn't stop trying, and we were very, very, very resilient, but we just didn't really create anything clear enough to create or threaten like a comeback, really.
We just seemed to lack it a little bit in the second half, but onwards and upwards to our next game, which was Man City 1, Everton 1. This is huge. I know we're saying it in this capacity, but taking 4 points off City this season is incredible. And I don't think we've actually done it. Like, I mean, I know we've never beaten City in the history like we did in December, but even taking a point off them today, or not today, Sunday, was absolutely incredible. And I I was very surprised to see Courtney on the bench, but then I'm really happy that Emily Ramsey's back, and she's been another player who's suffered really badly with injury this season, so it was really nice to see her get between the sticks. But something that excited me even more, and we were talking about before, and I want to get your opinions on this, is I really like seeing Claire Wheeler as captain. I think that she thoroughly deserved that. I think she's been one of Everton's rising stars. She's been, like you said, she's been unlucky with injury, but seeing her with that captain's armband, I was like, oh, yay! What were your thoughts on this game and Claire captain?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said before, like she's always so solid for us in midfield, and I feel like that's a position where it kind of controls the narrative of the game a little bit. So she's always been so important for us. And the interview she gave after the game, like she was just so proud of herself, and like the pride she put on being Everton captain just made me feel even more happy for her. And obviously, so sad that Megan is still out, obviously with her ACL, but the way that it gives like chances for Claire and obviously Brosnan, who's been captain when she's been playing, to really like shine and show how they can lead this team. I think it's really, really amazing. But yeah, it was a really positive result against the Manchester side. Thank God, not like the last time out. And I think it was quite a fair result. I think I would say. I don't think we just got lucky. Like I think we were in the game. Obviously, the first 20 minutes, I'd say, 15, something like that. City were, they looked a bit unstoppable for me personally. They came out flying, and like obviously Fernandez had to put in a recovery tackle that I can't believe didn't end in a goal. I was like, it's one of those moments you just literally just gone, oh my God. So thank God for her right then. Nicole was such a threat all game. She was really, really scaring me. But the opener, a bit scrappy, I thought. Obviously, Murphy got the initial what am I trying to say? Got the initial contact from Nicole's cross, but then it was Kasparai who bundled it over the line. So nothing really that Ramsey could do. I was about to say caught her. So it's just one of those awkward, like bouncing moments. But credit to us. After that, we grew into the game brilliantly. Like I said, in all honesty, genuinely after the goal, I thought they would run away with it. I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was another like 5-0 like we had with Chelsea, but we recovered absolutely amazingly. Like I mentioned before, how resilient we are and how like the team mentality just to fight back is insane. I don't know how they do it. Obviously the equaliser, what a goal that was. Sarah's cross, absolutely pinpoint, as I've said that word 10 times probably in this show, so God forbid. And then Karen rose so well to power it home. I like to say twin telepathy. They knew where each other were. They're connecting. I just absolutely loved it. It was so funny, but that header genuinely was unstoppable. It was a thumping header, rippled at the back of the net. So I loved to see it. I think in the second half when Noyce came on, I feel like she added a lot of energy and drive off the bench. But we didn't really get many chances after that. But we definitely asked them questions. And then Ramsey came up with a big save later on to tip Nicole's strike over the bar. So I just think a really good game for us defensively. We were quite disciplined, compact, and brave. And even though City had more of the ball, we made it so difficult for them. And this result wasn't just like a how do I say this? It wasn't. It was so meaningful for City. They needed to get these 3 points, so they were going to make it hard for us. And like the stakes that were put on this game, obviously United dropped points. I think we stood so firm, and I'm just so proud of the girls for the performance that they put out, and obviously another really resilient show from the girls.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, again, we said it previously, but taking 4 points from City this season it's so good, and it's something that we can show like, yeah, we can beat the big teams. And I'm like you, I'm so incredibly proud of them and everything they've achieved because we have been through some struggles this season. And hopefully next season it will be just up and up. So
Yeah.
looking ahead at this weekend, we will be facing Brighton and Hove Albion at home at Wharton Hall Park. What are your thoughts ahead of this game? How do you think that will do?
I think it's an interesting game because recently we've been having quite a few matchups with like teams at the top of the league. Obviously, we just spoke about Man City, Man United, Arsenal, and then before that it was Chelsea. So I think it's a different challenge. It'll be a different kind of system and a different setup that we've got to face. So I'm quite interested to see how we do with that. To be honest, they've got threats in Nikita Paris. She's the sixth highest assister in the WSL at the moment, a key playmaker for Brighton. Then obviously another very big name in their squad is Fran Kirby, who she's just known for her sharp like movement and finishing ability. I feel like we'll definitely need to keep a close eye on her in and around the box. But saying that, Brighton are coming off the back of like three three game losing streak. And I feel like that could suggest their confidence might be a little bit low heading into this match. So I think it will definitely be even more important for Everton to set the intensity early on and assert dominance because Brighton might struggle to regain their rhythm maybe. And I feel like if we capitalise on their potential vulnerability, we might be able to exploit like any gaps or like any gaps in their lack of confidence, hopefully. So I'm I'm hopeful. I think we'll come out on top. Form suggests that we should, but you never know these days.
Just have to wait and see. But next week's the big one. Next week's the exciting one. It is the reverse Merseyside derby fixture at Anfield. This is a game where we know we are really going to miss Megan Finnegan. She absolutely loves a Derby Day goal, and are gonna we are gonna miss her terribly during that game. But I mean, I always look forward to a Derby Day. It's gonna be tough going to Anfield, and if they get the crowds like they did last season, then it will definitely be a struggle for us. But what you thinking about that one?
I always hate predicting a derby because it's just one of them things where it's like form is just thrown outside of the window. So it's just so like, oh, it gets me so anxious, puts me on edge completely. So it's going to be really, really, really tough, like you say, because it isn't at Goodison Park this time. We're at Anfield, and they do get quite a lot of support. But I feel like we can still bank on their crowd, bank on us, because I know that we're going to show up. Come on, guys, we've got this. So I feel like, I don't know. It's so hard to predict.
It's
I don't
so
know.
tough.
But they have got some strong players like Mia Enderby netted twice in the 4-0 loss in the League Cup. Jenna Clark, she's always quite strong in set pieces. And Fuga Nagano, I think I'm saying that right. She's a really intelligent midfielder, like, and I feel like that's so dangerous in these types of games because she can just dictate play and that can flick the switch like that. So keeping her quiet, I feel like is going to be crucial. So set the tempo early on. We've got to do that. We've got this. We've got this. We've got this. Just try take advantage of like the wide areas. I feel like we're quite good at that. We've got Sarah, who's obviously our glorious sister. Love her. And then try control the midfield battle, and hopefully we can just get something out of this game. Well, hopefully we can get a win. Hopefully we can get all 3 points. And I believe that we can.
That's all we want. And
Yeah.
we'll just have a little quick look, quick look ahead because we've only got 3 games left this season. It has absolutely flown by. A season a lot of us would probably want to be over with some of the injury struggles we've had, but a little look ahead to the summer. Well, obviously, there's the rumours still flying around that Goodison Park might be the new home of our women's team. If that does happen, that will be so exciting. It'll be such a morale boost for the team and the crowds they could get, the facilities they could get. It'll be so much nicer and better than Walton. I mean, we love Walton Hall Park, but also I feel it's time to just kind of grow, and I'd absolutely love these rumors to be true and for the women to get to go, like play permanently at such a prominent stadium as Goodison Park. What are your thoughts on these rumors?
Yeah, I've been saying this from day one when we found out that the men were departing from Goodison. I was like, well, let's just bring the ladies in and keep the Goodison legacy going. I remember having a conversation with my friends and they were like, you're going crazy. Like, that's just not going to happen. But I saw an article on The Athletic. So I feel like if The Athletic are writing about it, there's got to be a strong, like, background to make it strong. That it's got to be serious. Like they are exploring this. So I really hope that happens. Obviously, like you said, like the momentum it will bring for just so many different aspects, like the players. Like I feel like that it will light a fire under their bellies. Playing at Goodison is something that is obviously I've never done it personally, but I just know it would be one of the most incredible feelings in the world. And I feel like it would give you 10 times the energy to go out and perform. But it's not even just about the players. I feel like for women's football as a whole, the way that we could grow under this would be amazing. Like we saw with the Arsenal game that was sold out. Imagine if we were in Goodison at that point, we could have generated crowds.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not even about just the away fans and the home fans. With Goodison, obviously, it's such like a historic stadium, the first football purpose-built stadium to be made. So the amount of people that I'm sure will want to come to Goodison and after feeling like they couldn't because it was not being used anymore, they'll be even more encouraged to come and support the ladies when maybe they wouldn't have. Same with like people who just go to the men's games, maybe they'll want to come in and like re-experience Goodison in a different way. And I just feel like it would be so good for the women to be able to continue the legacy. Like we can't let that die. Surely if you've got an opportunity like this, you've got to take it, I feel like.
Yeah, 100%. And then finally, what are you hoping for in the summer? Like, are you hoping for some, well, obviously a new home, but are you hoping for some new players, some new contracts?
Well, to be honest, I haven't even been thinking about new players because I've been too worried about all the expiring contracts. Obviously, we've
Same.
got Claire Wheeler, who, oh please no, like please stay. Oh my god, you've got obviously the loans they're gonna be departing probably. Martina Fernandez, who's been so good for us at the back, so that's somewhere that we'll have to fill. Heather Payne, I think her contract's expiring.
Yeah.
And I think Van Havermaas is expiring too. So I'm praying that there's some works going on behind the club and we're going to get some contract extensions. But if we don't, obviously we are going to have to look to new signings. And I feel like with the investment that's been shown into the women's game since the Freaking Group have come in, I feel like we could attract some really strong players. And like with Goodison potentially becoming our new home, I feel like that could be another factor that would just pull some of the top players over, because the way that our season's been shaping up, the second half, not the first half, but the second half, I feel like we've just been on like a progression like this, and I feel like we're only going to go higher. So I'm thinking we can get some big names in. I haven't thought about them, don't know who, but there is one that I remember from January that I feel like is the only one that didn't really materialise, and that's Nagano from Liverpool. She's a midfielder, and I feel like, as I said, she's really intelligent, she's really technical, she's really tidy. So if we did have to see wielded apart, God please no, then she could be a replacement, I guess. But I'm not really sure. You might have better ideas than me. I don't have any ideas about who can come in. I've
No,
just been too preoccupied.
I was joking to one of my friends after the Arsenal game because Katie McCabe made like a beeline to Courtney Brosnan, obviously because they're Ireland teammates. And then Brian Sorensen came over and started like talking to them, and I was like, "Oh, is Brian trying to recruit? Like, are we
Go on.
like Courtney, get just Courtney, just get a word in. Brian, you're both there. He's there. Just go and just keep talking." No,
Oh, imagine.
I mean, great for us.
It's ambitious, but like I say, we are only going up. So
Exactly. We're gonna win
never say never.
we're gonna win everything next year. Watch your space. Um, no, obviously, we would like some new contract signing. So Claire, get your pen to paper and get that signed because
Please, Claire.
we need you, and bring some of your Aussie friends over because we would like to
Yeah,
be Australians.
yeah, please.
But thank you for joining me today, Sienna.
Oh, thank you for having me.
No problem. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.